This week on Gaming Dudes Podcast.
I think, oh, dude, yep, throw up the waifu picture because in the dang anime,
curvy, furry, furry.
Oh yeah, dude. Honestly, with that voice, like it literally sounded like I was listening to a not appropriate. It was not appropriate. It was not appropriate. It was the most flirtatious, unintentionally flirtatious voice you could ever hear.
Very strong female.
Very
voice.
sultry, very feminine. Like this woman could have been Catwoman. It was that. Actually, it was more sultry than Catwoman, if you can believe it. Man, the waifu discussions.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Gaming Dudes Podcast. I'm Bren.
I'm Spidey, and we're actually here early tonight.
We are. I know it's gonna be crazy. We're actually gonna have a night after we stop doing this.
We won't. I won't be staying up late into the night, staring at my computer screen, trying to figure things out for YouTube and the stuff I work on.
Yeah.
But I read the first chapter
of the Pokemon Adventures.
Yep.
Well, dive in a little bit.
All right.
He's making a video on this, so.
Yep. So
the rest of the chapters will probably just have to watch his videos.
You will have to watch his videos because I have my new setup that I'm getting ready. I got my green screen thing to put on my chair, my mirrorless camera that, like I said, I wanted to prove a point to people, and that's that phone cameras are not nearly as good as a camera with a lens, a fancy lens, unless you're like.
I think the newest iPhones have like pretty insane.
But there is a style that
That's
they
true.
cannot replicate that these cameras have. Yeah. And that's why they are cameras. They are so much money. It's just the look of it. And I'm not like some camera, snob going, "Oh, look at this. It's cinematic looking." But it is in a way. But
you're like, but actually, yes.
There is a very
I know what you mean.
Warm look to it.
Same thing with even when people shoot movies on like older cameras.
Yes, it looks better in some ways.
There's still like a good style to it that I like. So
people still record on freaking tape, dude.
yeah, because you just get this.
There's
just a look,
a fuzziness for those.
You don't get otherwise. So I get what you're saying.
But for Pokemon Adventures, enough. I could do a whole other thing on the camera stuff, but. Pokemon Adventures. So I opened up the book, and I was like, okay, so how are they going to start this thing? And, they started with Red teaching some kids how to, catch Pokemon. Because these kids are so bad. This little girl just straight throws the Pokeball at the Pokemon without even attacking it. Like, those are levels of, dumb that cannot be replicated.
Yeah.
So what I liked is, with Ash Ketchum, here's a comparison. The guy is he has no confidence at all. He has no personality at all. Like he does, but he's very soft in the beginning.
Well, they change it too, because at the start he had more personality than later.
But he's so soft. In the first couple episodes, he's like a soft little muffin boy. In terms of he has no confidence.
Yeah.
I get it because it's the first couple episodes. Even the voice actress who voices him has way less confidence. You can kind of tell. But Red walks in. Man is the most confident.
Yeah.
And not in an annoying way either. I like seeing confidence in my characters. He shows up and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to teach you guys how to do this. You got to damage it." He's like, "You got to damage it first before you catch it." If this was Ash Ketchum, he'd be like, "Oh, dude, how do I catch this thing?" He'd be like, "How do I catch this?" And it's like, do I need to see that again every season? Meanwhile, Red walks in and he's like, he already has a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Freaking Poliwhirl. He already knows what's going on.
It's kind of really cool that he had Poliwhirl too.
And honestly, he is a good trainer. He's competent. He catches that thing fast.
I also love how the art looks when he's looking at his balls, his Pokeballs.
We're definitely leaving that in, and we're definitely putting that in the intro.
When he's when you can see his Pokemon through his balls. Through his Pokeballs. And they have it's that dot art in manga where they have the dots. I love the art when he's looking through his Pokeballs.
No, I'm with you. The whole thing, his balls, yeah. They didn't do much of that this chapter, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, they just they're very, very light on that.
Yeah, but him having Polyworld to start's really cool because it's like different.
He finally knows what he's doing. He's not just this kid who's like, oh, what is this? What is Pokemon?
But who starts out having a Polyworld? That was a cool.
It was unique.
I think Polyworld's cool.
No, I agree.
I'm just saying, like,
unique.
it's cool that they're like not just like, you got Pikachu right away again.
Here's Pikachu again, and I'm
Pikachu
sure
does show up.
I'm sure Pika's probably better than Pikachu. I get the feeling.
I've actually come around to Pikachu.
Pikachu is charming.
I didn't used to be. I actually, as I got older, became a fan of him because early on I was like, whatever. Like,
Well,
I don't care that much.
he's very like sassy, and I
Yeah.
like that. Even in the anime, he's like sassy, has so much personality.
Yeah.
He kind of sticks out. Even like I said, I do like Brock, but among the other main characters, he kind of sticks out a lot more.
So what happened in the chapter?
So basically, he taught these kids all this crap, and he showed them, and then they're like, oh, check out Professor Oak. He knows a ton about Pokemon. And Red's like, oh, who's this old coot? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
I know way more. I'm going to go battle him. That's what he says. And then he immediately, and they're like, oh, there's this mysterious Pokemon in the woods. He hears that from Team Rocket because he goes to...
That's Pikachu, I think, right?
He goes to the forest. It's Mew.
Oh, yeah, he sees a Mew early.
He goes to the forest. I got Viridian Forest. Yeah, I think it's Viridian Forest.
Viridian, yeah,
because like I said, my Gen 1 locations are.
Dude, you are in. I'm so excited for you. I wish I could go back and reread it for the first time now.
But he goes in there.
So good.
And he notices. He's like, oh, I'm going to challenge Team Rocket. So he just sees someone with a Pokeball. He's like, oh, I'm going to challenge him. I don't care who it is. Don't even know these people. There's like 7 guys. I'm going to go challenge him to a battle. But then they run past him, and he follows them, and then we enter a certain boy, the old Green, or Blue if you're in America. He's standing there, and he's battling this Mew, because we finally see. We saw a brief thing of it, but that thing's destroyed.
So in America, you mean Gary?
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah.
Which for some
but
reason,
in the manga it's Red who's like I guess
the
Ash like.
I mean,
not really, but
barely.
I'm saying like, and then there's, but that's clearly who Ash was. Was the Adventures first or was
I think
the
it
show
was.
first?
I think it was first. I think so.
Okay.
I'll put it. I'll put up whatever on the
So
screen.
clearly,
I
like
did last
if
episode.
Red was if the Adventures manga was first, Ash is based off of Red, and not loosely.
Extremely
and
loosely.
Gary is based off of Green.
There's some seasons
But if
where
you
he's,
played the games, you're gonna think that he's blue because
because Blue in the game,
Red, you think he's blue.
Which that's where I get my reference from. I always get the mix up because it's like.
But manga wise, it's Red, and then who's basically Ash like, and then Green, who is Gary.
Gary, but like.
And Blue is like a girl who has a Blastoise.
Yeah, I remember her.
She's
Probably
cool.
the most uniquely designed female character in the series. I'm not gonna lie. But he's fighting this Mew. He's like, oh, his Charmander's fighting this Mew.
He's fighting Mew with a Charmander.
He's fighting Mew with a Charmander. He's not doing too bad, honestly. He doesn't even get his Pokemon fainted.
Like Green is the coolest version of.
And that's saying something because Gary's actually not bad
awesome.
in the anime.
Gary's awesome, dude.
But Blue is way cooler. I'm with you there, dude. He is way cooler.
Green, you mean?
Green, yeah. I gotta see.
It's confusing.
It's confusing because of the whole Japanese thing. Like I said, and then Green's fighting this Mew, and then he's like, oh, you see a massive explosion from this thing. And then he's like, oh, this thing's too tough, so he, he returns his Charmander. He's like, I'm out of here.
Smart.
Red's like, oh, I'm gonna battle that thing.
Yeah, of course.
Again, I'm gonna battle that thing. In seconds, he's like, battle.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes after it. He throws his little Poliwhirl out. He's shocked that Green. He's shocked that Green backed out of it. He's like, dude, what are you doing? You a coward?
Yeah.
Come on, let's face this thing. He's got this fiery determination.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But what's nice about it is it's not so arrogant. Like some characters they make actually arrogant.
Most definitely.
But for him it's just, it's a kid with a fiery spirit. which he looks like a freaking teenager. I'm not going to lie to you. It's the same anime thing where he looks older. That's just how it is. But yeah, he challenges it, gets destroyed. His polyworld gets destroyed trying a water gun, gets fainted. He's like, what? I've like never lost in my life. You know, because it's been emphasized that he fought trainers before that and never lost a battle.
Yeah.
So
cool.
he's not some dweeb in Pokemon. He actually has a little bit of experience, which is nice. And then Blue's like, dude, you know, when someone's green, and then Green, yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. But Green's like, dude, what were you expecting to happen? The second I saw how powerful this thing was, I sent my Pokemon back. Why? He's like, why are you so like gung ho about this? No wonder you were gonna lose this thing. And then Red's just like ticked at him, and then Blue just leaves. He's got a little smirk on his face as he leaves.
Green.
Yeah, Green. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying that. Curse you, America, for doing that to me. Thank you. I
think it was just about the versions, right?
Yep,
we got red and blue.
It was.
They
got fire red. They got that fire and green.
I think green was the first. Yeah, they got.
Yeah, red and green.
And we got red and blue.
Yep, red and green and blue. I don't know why they changed it. Makes no sense to me, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. Especially on my regular video.
That original art that they did for those games is phenomenal.
And the manga copies it perfectly. In fact, I think it improves on it in
Did
some
the guy
ways.
who did the art for the manga do the art for the games?
I'd have to Google it. I will show and post.
I think it's a different guy, but
whoever he was, because I looked
either
at
way, both of it's fantastic.
Because I had looked at the back of it out of curiosity, and he mapped out the whole journey that Red took from the games. So he has a whole map that describes where Red went throughout the entire arc. And I was like, man, this guy's a Pokemon fan. Like, he is... The guy who wrote it was genuinely a fan.
Well, I know what you mean.
A lot of times they don't, dude.
Sometimes people write stuff they don't
A
know
lot of times they don't.
They're not like passionate.
You can tell, like I said, you can even tell with Telltale Batman, certain episodes are less like
in season 2 or season 1?
Some episodes in season 2 are like, oh, this is a comic book fan. Some episodes are like, okay, this guy has no idea what he's doing, which it's interesting sometimes. There are interesting twists, but you got to have someone who's at the helm who knows what he's talking about and knows like what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had that happen in like certain Batman shows. Like you got to have someone who knows what they're talking about.
So anyways, fights Mew, he loses.
Yeah, he loses. Blue leaves him. He's like insulting him. Well, yeah, Green leaves him. And then he's like, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to go find this old man guy and figure out what the heck's going on. I'm going to challenge him to a battle." So he shows up out of there. He leaves. You know, after begrudgingly leaves the Pokemon, and he just bails. He doesn't care what Team Rocket's doing in the forest. He's not like this hero character who's like, oh, dude, those guys look suspicious. He's just out.
Yeah.
You know, there's no moment where he's like, oh, this thing could be in danger.
It's not so like protect.
It's not so protecty.
The creatures.
Like there's a point where it gets forced, especially in the first moments of a chapter. Like you're gonna have this guy be so. Like, oh, I gotta protect him. Like, it's very odd. And I will say, yeah. So that's how the chapter ended. He decided to go out and see what the heck this Professor Oak guy is like, which we both know he obviously, you know, gives him Pika or Soar. I think it's actually Soar first.
I can't remember.
But so far. That was far more interesting than.
So that was a chapter. That's the end of the chapter.
Yep, that was way more
so
interesting.
He hasn't. Oh, he got Pika.
Yeah, and then Blue, Green insulted the crap out of him. Basically, called them out. He's like, "Yeah, dude, what are you thinking? You know, you suck at this. Why?" And it wasn't actually douchey at all. His advice was actually pretty valid.
It's almost like, be careful.
Be careful, dude. He's like, you're biting off more than you can chew. Yeah, this is a legendary Pokemon, buddy. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And he's just out. Then he does a smug grin and walks out. But within 5 seconds, I'm like, oh, Red's already a better main character than Ash has ever been. The only time Ash even got close was when he was like slightly decent at battling. But even then, his personality, like I said, I do like him, but he's so generic, especially after, like, he's just this generic guy. He doesn't have that, like, confidence.
Yeah.
I like to see a confidence in a character. They can't just be like, ooh, you know, or, and that's why people got so mad about, you know, early Ash, you know. When he got to Advanced, when he got to Hoenn, he was a lot more, like, confident. And people got mad about that. I'm like, what's so bad about him being a little snarky and a little confident? That actually is way more interesting than him being like, oh, I love Pokemon. I love... Like, that's boring. And that's why Red is so much better than him.
Yeah.
He has some development he
I agree.
needs. But it's like he's not a complete dunce. He doesn't start out like, oh, I woke up late and I got to go to this, you know, the Poke Center. He's like, oh, I already have a Pokemon. I love this play. I love him so much.
You go in where he's already been a trainer. And like, he's not.
I like that. There's way more I can tell there's way more going on already from one single chapter.
Dude, yeah, it gets so good. It's an incredible, which is funny because like I'm reading Diamond and Pearl Platinum, and it's good,
but
it's not as good as the
it's
original.
not like first chapter.
But I'm also only through the first. I think I'm like 10 pages left of the first volume. It's good. I mean, I don't like the characters as much. I like Dawn, but Diamond and Pearl are like okay.
Yeah, it's like, well, the problem is
they're not bad, but
the problem is, even from hearing your description of them, you go from like a male character like Red, who's like way more.
Well, then you go to Gold and Silver, which Jimmy's awesome.
Man's got balls. Meanwhile, I hear this guy's like eats a ton of food like a Snorlax.
Yeah.
They're a comedy duo, and I'm like,
and it's fun. It's like pretty funny.
It's like I get Barry being an idiot because Barry's always a massive
obviously
dum-dum.
they'll progress as time goes
Or
on.
Pearl.
But I mean, I kind of wish I would have started with Ruby Sapphire instead.
You should have, because there's a romance in that, a.k.a. Ruby and Sapphire.
But there's some romance going on in this one, even with
but it's
Diamond. Diamond has a crush on
Platinum.
On Plat, yeah.
Well, this one it's like they actually carry it out fully. From what I heard, they go full in. They don't. It's like one of the few relationships that actually happens. Meanwhile, every other Pokemon thing is like, can't have relationships. Got to move on to the next girl, or not have anything in there. And so far, Red, like I said, amazing.
Yeah,
it is going to be a weekly thing for me that I do
it.
these reviews.
You're gonna enjoy it.
These reviews are going to be like a big thing on my channel. They're going to be like what I structured around for a long time. Because for me, this is way easier. I had thought about doing a thing like I was even going to do MacGyver at the time, just watching the actual old show and talking about it. But I think this, for me, is more interesting.
Great show.
This is more interesting right now because I never experienced the full thing. Like, I never got to see.
You're in for a treat.
Like, that's why I'm so excited about this, is because it's different. See, you were correct. I knew it was already going to be better, but I didn't know it was going to be like...
I knew. That's why I got it for him. Like, he's going to read just a little bit and be like,
the first chapter...
Because the hardest part is, like, starting. Because you're like, oh, do I really want to read? Even though it's a manga, you're still kind of... I understand. So
for me, it was like 50,000 things that I had that I was constantly
So I was like, I know,
about.
like, it's hard to want to sit down and actually open it, but, like, I knew once you did, you'd be like, all right, this is...
I'm hooked on this thing, dude. I'm going to be reading chapter after chapter after chapter. This is something else, man. And it's nice because, see, if it was a regular book, I'd just be like, okay, where's the end of the book? Where's the interesting chapter? A lot of times when I read a book, they cut away to some random character that I don't care about for like a whole chapter. And then I'm just like, okay, where's the main character? Okay, like I came here for this guy. This is solely dedicated to these people.
Yeah.
And what's nice is, unlike other stories, they're separate mangas. So one's about red, one's about blue, one's about
100%.
yellow. I heard the yellow chapter's really...
It's good. It's not as good, but it's good.
A lot of people like the Yellow chapter,
Really?
ironically. Yeah, there's a lot of people who like the character, at least, Yellow.
I like the character Yellow a lot.
A lot. Very girly girl, from what I can tell by the art. Which, like I said, I'm always in for. I'm always in for that. That was why I liked May. Very feminine. Like, very girly. Like, shops, does random stuff.
Yellow?
May. Very much like that. So any form of that is
because
fine
Yellow,
by me.
like, I think the twist, I don't even know the twist is you think she's a boy, but she ends up being a girl.
Yeah.
How'd you know she was a girl already?
Dude, like I said, I didn't own anything as a kid and was broke as balls, so I basically couldn't afford anything.
Okay,
So
that's like a twist, which I guess spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert, people. Yeah, this will.
We
I mean, this will be an entire series, so expect there to
But
be.
yeah, Yellow, like the whole thing is Yellow. Like they make you think he's a boy, and then you're like, wait, like you think he's a little boy, and then it's like, wait, he's a girl.
I'm gonna be honest. This saved Pokemon as a series for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Other than the movies, I was like, because I would sit down and watch the show, certain seasons, and I'd just be like, "This is
So
the
is it already
same
better than you
thing."
thought it was gonna be?
Yeah, dude. I thought it was. It's actually, I thought it was gonna be amazing, and it's even better than that. Even better. I was shocked.
Yeah, it's a really good.
That's why I was like, okay. So when I watch the show, it's just formulaic all the time. It's very formulaic, and I like formula as much as the next guy.
It gets more formulaic as it goes on.
Oh my gosh, dude!
It starts out not as much.
Johto
Still.
hits super formulaic.
And then they just start being like, okay, it's like, dude, how many times do I got to see Team Rocket again and again and again? Like, I would much rather see him battle other trainers than like get
And if you're gonna, like I said, you know what would have fixed that? Make James a part of the group. Seriously, there are so many times when he had opportunities.
Why are you making him so goofy? Like they're so goofy.
Like I mean, like join Ash's group.
I know, but I'm saying like I have no threat. Like Team
Oh,
Rocket
agreed.
in the
Yeah,
games is
they're
like,
no
whoa.
threat. They should have dissolved them in the manga.
Giovanni
they're way
is
tougher.
like so.
I actually looked up the pronunciation of just to see what it actually is.
I always said Giovanni.
It's actually Giovanni,
Really?
and yours was actually closer than Gio.
When I was a kid, I thought it was Gavona.
Yeah, but you don't go Gio. It's Giovanni. Like that's way.
The only thing I've heard is I've heard Giovanni or Giovanni and Giovanni.
Because that's how the Italians say it. I even looked it up. I was like, okay, how do you say that? Just out of curiosity, I'm like, because Assassin's Creed 2 did that, where they're like, oh, Giovanni. I was like, are they just pronouncing it wrong?
I doubt Assassin's Creed would.
I mean, dude, I'm sure if I've heard tale that if an actual Italian, because sometimes they'd mix Spanish words in, because they are similar languages, but they also wanted to sound less like stereotypical, apparently. Because if you have an Italian go, you may get eyes, especially in this climate we have today. They'd be, even back then, they were like, yeah, we got to steer away from that. But, yeah, no, the manga, great manga. Honestly, I was shocked. I was already expecting an amazing time, but just from seconds, like, I cannot emphasize this enough. The genericness of the regular anime is so strong. Kanto was the only season, and maybe Battle Frontier.
I mean, you gotta remember, we were a kid watching it. When I was a kid watching it, I thought it was incredible. Like there was no.
Yes.
Like obviously, it's for kids.
Yes,
So
but
it's like,
the thing
we got like 4 kids made the anime. Like we were seeing the.
But this is what's weird is you would get these episodes that have such like depth to them. Even Battle Frontier, the whole James episode, it had like actual depth, even in the original series.
I'm just saying with Yu-Gi-Oh, like I was saying last episode, it's different because
Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually,
Yu-Gi-Oh has like a much darker sub, but we got the 4Kids version in America where they're like, well, we don't want the kids to see that.
Agreed.
We don't want the kids to see this.
Well, here's what's nice about Yu-Gi-Oh is
I think Pokemon was like legitimately just for kids,
like tampering with everything.
I don't think it's any different. I don't think it's really any different from besides
like
the cultures.
Yeah,
like toning down the culture. I don't think it's that different from.
Meanwhile, Yu-Gi-Oh. When you look at
I'm just saying we can't be too harsh.
That's true, but I guess I'm saying Yu-Gi-Oh. Even the anime had deeper stories than that. Freaking Kaiba's gonna fall off a cliff.
Oh, I know. Even still, but it's even darker than what we see.
Like he's gonna freaking Yami's gonna kill him. Like there's way more going on.
No, I know.
The movies have more going on.
I'm just saying, and I would even say Yu-Gi-Oh is more for like young teens.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
I would say Pokemon, like the show.
Oh yeah, the show
shifts from adult theme. Like there's no adult themes.
It like shifts
I
from being.
I can honestly say none.
Oh, I agree with you.
Besides
I think the movies are more.
They are, but even still,
like
they actually
at least characters freaking die. You know,
dude, the Entei movie is so good.
At least characters die, almost die. You know, the world almost fades out of freaking existence by a god Pokemon. Like there's some actual tension.
You're right. There's some
Mewtwo's story is dark as heck. His actual backstory, if you look
movie
into
is
it,
awesome.
It's like this little girl that he was trying to protect, who's a clone. He discovers is a clone is killed.
Yeah,
in front of his face. Like where is that? Where is that, guys? Like adventures. I guess for me, it's the personalities that irritate me. Everyone is a stereotype.
I agree with you. I'm just like putting the thought out there that the show is for kids.
Yes, it is.
So
but
we're not. It's not surprising that we don't think there's that much depth to it.
Why was Ash so sanitized as time went on? Like why was he why was he so sanitized to the point where he had nothing?
I don't know. The series got better at certain points and worse at certain points.
Like his personality.
Sun and Moon, I wasn't the biggest fan of the art, but the story was a lot deeper than other seasons. X and Y was great. It wasn't super deep, but they at least had themes of romance and other
something.
Themes. So it's there's some seasons that aren't as generic, but Ash got really watered down. But he wasn't that. He wasn't that solid in the first place.
He wasn't that solid. Like he would change from season to season.
Yeah. Well, he turned into almost like a mascot.
Yes, he did. A mascot character. He used to get mad at people.
Yeah,
he used to be snarky,
struggling with his emotions and stuff.
Yeah, for 10 seasons he did that, and then after that he just kind of went, huh?
Yeah. I agree with that.
He's not the deepest of all
and don't
characters.
Get me wrong, there's still some great stuff to it. I'm just saying that it is. Even in Horizons, because I've been watching Horizons, there's some parts of it that are awesome. Pretty intense, crazy. You see a shiny Rayquaza, a black Rayquaza.
I mean, a girl almost got hit by a solar beam in the first episode.
Yeah, there's so much there's so much more depth to it, but still it's for kids.
That's true.
Especially the enthusiastic attitude that everybody kids have all the time.
It's so annoying.
But it's for kids and it's good to have kids see positive attitudes.
Yes,
and,
I agree, but do you really need
that's
to
not what I want to see.
Exclude every single
I want to see
grittiness
and true.
Well, I like to see a character have
aspects.
confidence, have a deep
Well, the truth of the matter is you become an adult, you're just more worn down of it's kind of
it's I can watch Scoop all the time.
You get hit with sandpaper where you're just more you're a little more gritty because the world's not so happy.
It's
happy
I
all the
need
time.
something. I need something to grab onto.
Yeah, but like I said, it's
even
it's
as
for
a kid.
kids.
Even as a kid, I was so attached to Spider-Man because he had so many problems.
I understand that, but I'm saying in general.
Oh yeah,
most kids are wanting to see the positive.
Most people are where's the colors?
Probably because they would be as a kid, they're well, I would be this hyped. You know what I mean?
Meanwhile, I'm just dude, show me a character that's
so I agree, but as an adult, of course I agree. But when I was a kid watching the first season and everything, I thought it was amazing.
Honestly, even watching just a little bit of even clips from the first season gets me more excited than
I understand.
way later.
I understand, but still, yeah, like I said, he does get watered down. I think that's true.
He's nothing.
But I'm saying that has to be your main mindset of it is.
That's true, you do, but it's just weird that they start out the way they did.
The manga's more young adult.
Finally, it's nice. It's nice to actually have.
Finally, it was there for so long.
I know, but it's for me, it's finally.
I don't know if they did the I am curious what made them decide to make the manga a lot more
Probably because they were tired of like.
But it depends on which came first.
Like, imagine you're producing a kids show though for so long. I'm saying if it did. This is a hypothetical.
I'm listening.
You're doing it for so long.
Keep talking.
And then you're like, okay, I'm constantly like, I have to write the characters the same way. We have to have a formula. We got to have them all be super excited. We have to have them be like, but we have to be, you always have to have all this color. You have to have all this like very same stereotypes. Like on the occasion, you'll have an episode that's about like abandonment or, about like actual rivalry, heaven forbid, because for some reason there's always like, oh, we gotta sanitize the rivalries, dude. We gotta get the Garys out. We gotta get the Pauls out. We gotta get the, any character that has any form of like actual character, like deep character, is taken out. You have Brock struggling with the fact that his mom is possibly dead or is dead. At least in the dub version, they're like, oh, she's dead. He has to take care of her. He has to take care of, the family. The whole family by himself while his deadbeat dad left and hit himself because he couldn't be a Pokemon trainer. And then you have episodes that are like, showing Paul being straight up abusive to his Pokemon and being like kind of a douche. And I'm like, okay, where did this go? Where did this go? Why is it gone? Like, why did they get rid of this stuff? That's my question is, what reason is there for this stuff to be gone when it's what drew, like, people's favorite rivals are not freaking Morrison from Hoenn, who's like, dude, I'm just a pumped up guy who likes to catch Pokemon and want to be a rival. Like, the characters people like are Gary because he's a douchebag, and Paul because he's like insufferable.
I'm surprised we even got as much of a.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
As much of what we got with Gary in the first place, but anyway, I'm glad you liked the chapter.
Yeah, it's like night and day, dude. It is night and day. Once you're older, it just becomes like the same formula.
Yeah, that's what Pokemon is.
Which it's a good show.
Because they have other forms of media, right? Like, if Pokemon was just a show, like, would I care about it as much now? Probably not. And even if it was just a manga, I would love it more. But it's like, but I'm saying, like,
you have to reach other people.
Yeah, Pokemon's crazy.
It's supposed to be for everybody
because it's like it is for everybody, and it's because I grew up with it. For me, it's like. It's almost like having a comfort meal for me. It's like Pokemon, obviously Gen 1's my favorite. Like the Gen 1 Pokemon are my favorite by like a long shot.
Gen 1's. And some Gen 3's.
But I think that's an age.
Put those
I think that's
on.
an age thing, right? Like
I notice you always put Gen 1 and 3 in particular on your teams. Because you have like, sometimes you'll have like Makuhita
1
or
through
Skarmory.
3, pretty much all the Pokemon I love.
Oh, agreed. Duskull's pretty cool.
It got a little bit like I don't want to say lamer, but like I didn't care so much about because I used to have them all memorized, probably up to like Black and White was after Diamond and Pearl, right?
Yep.
So probably like Black and White, I stopped knowing every single one. I think.
Well, because Gen 4 had some cool Pokemon.
No, it was X and Y after.
X and Y was and then Black and White 2, then X and Y.
Yeah. So X and Y, I knew a lot of them too. Actually, probably just because I like actually played like in tournaments. Then, so like I knew a lot of the Pokemon then, but like still not all of them. And now I don't really. Saying the new ones is cool when you see one that you think is cool. So I love the aspect of you adding new ones because I'm seeing new ones. So like I'm okay with that. But in terms of like my favorite design, I think it just got less for me.
The only cool one to me that I've seen recently is Corviknight.
Corviknight's sick. That was Sword.
He reminds me of like an old Gen design because it's very. It has this like certain edge to it, like certain designs would. I mean, you wouldn't see Charizard these days. A Pokemon like Charizard or even Blastoise. Even Blastoise has a little bit of a mean look on his face.
But I mean, back then It was cool as a part of that's too. It's just what you grow up with. I think.
That's
maybe
true.
Not for everybody.
In some
I'm not
ways.
saying it is for everybody. I just think that like if you hear people my age, like I think a lot of people would be like, "Oh, Gen 1 is the."
Oh yeah, the Gen 1ers, dude. There are a group of fans that hate every generation other than Gen 1. They're called the Gen 1ers.
I don't hate. Yeah, because Gold and Silver had sick
Yeah.
tweaks.
Like, why would you hate Gen 2?
Sapphire and Ruby had great.
Why would you hate Gen 3?
I mean,
why would you hate Platinum? I always gotta say it.
yeah,
I always gotta
Diamond
say
and Pearl's
it.
great too.
It is a good game, but seriously,
But
Platinum.
they really did add a
Platinum
lot.
saved those games. I've seen whole videos of people talking about how Platinum saved.
I played Diamond and Pearl.
It was good,
And
but
I
there
liked
was
it.
like so little, like the legendaries in general.
Well, I think if anything, them putting out Plat and having it be that much extra.
Plat fixed a lot of problems.
Them having Plat and having it be that much added onto it. If anything, it's hats off to them
Oh, agreed.
of being like.
And
"Whoa, dude."
it was not a terrible game, but it's like, it's shocking that a third version could change that much.
Yeah, I mean, really smart by them because it makes people want to buy it. Like a third one, because a lot of times if there's a third version, it wasn't when there's like crystal thing. It's like not
Emerald,
that different.
It's like, I mean, I could just play Ruby and Sapphire. Or Gold
you're not
and
missing.
Silver.
Like it's like okay.
No, I missed Rayquaza.
It's just like an extra game to go through, which is cool. I'm just saying, like
Rayquaza.
the Giratina, they really stepped up.
Yeah, Giratina, dude. Well, that's because they added a whole other dimension.
That's what I'm saying.
The freaking whatever.
What I'm saying is like most of the time they don't add that much.
No, not at all, dude.
Not
at all.
To what they're doing,
but there's like a depth to that just.
I'm curious about
to Platinum especially
the newest game because it's going to be X and Y, which is sick.
I'm curious
in the X and Y world. But if it's gonna be, because I thought Pokemon like Arceus, like Legends of Arceus was good. Like I thought it was good, but it was really fun for what they did. Amazing for like what it was worth. But I want a good like core game.
Well, this is a spin-off, and for me, when I hear the term spin-off,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm kind of worried.
I'm interested.
Really?
Honestly, dude, please give me a spin-off.
If it's like Legends of Arceus, that's cool. But
give me a spin-off, but you know what I want? Like I said, go the route of Coliseum and XD, brother.
I just want a good like core game again, where it's like, don't get me wrong, Scarlet and Violet had a lot of strengths.
Yeah.
It did. It really did. Like, I loved the DLC.
I actually have the game. That's the funny part.
It was better than Sword and Shield. Although I do think Sword and Shield did better with the
world and
areas,
the art style.
world way better. But where that lacked, Scarlet and Violet did better with everything else. But the world was kind of like the open world when you're exploring. Really cool.
Yeah, it was
the
very
towns,
big.
they clearly
They
soaked up the
they
budget.
didn't care.
But in their defense, they added. There's a lot of content in that game.
The
to, like,
issue
beat
is
actual
the
game.
towns were like in the old days.
And the DLC was incredible. For
I heard
Scarlet
that.
and Violet.
Yeah, a lot of people like it.
Even like because I think there was two.
I will say,
I did both.
Recently there has been an uprising against the old Game Freak for the fact that there are a lot, like the problems you were talking about when it comes to.
I don't blame them, and it should be criticized.
And Power World has been pointed out.
I'm
as
just
an
saying,
alternative.
X and Y world, like X and Y's universe, is so good. Like the towns, they already have the towns. Like the cities in X and Y were so cool and unique.
No, I agree with you.
That it's like feel positive that they're picking that. I just don't care so much about. I thought the Arceus was cool that it was in the past.
Yeah,
like, it's cool. Like I like that, but do I want that all the time?
No.
Like no.
And this is my problem. So you have like the first, like for some reason,
Because it was like an action RPG.
the
They
handheld
basically made like a Pokemon action RPG.
yes,
which is awesome.
is
Like, it
really
was
cool.
So cool.
But I'm with you. I feel like Pokemon is at its strongest when it is a turn-based game.
Yeah, which the battles still were, but they just had boss fights where you were doing turn-based fights and also had an action.
Because,
element, too.
dude, literally, when I get a good Pokemon
It was basically
game,
like you were part of the battles as well, not just
which
your
is
Pokemon,
cool.
Which was cool.
But
do I want that all the time?
No.
Me personally, no. But
Me
am I
either,
going to be
dude.
upset if they do it? Not really.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
be
saying
honest.
I'm nervous because it's one of my favorite
Franchises.
My favorite franchise. I can probably It's probably top 2. It's got to be. It might be my favorite franchise of all time.
So this is the thing. For me, with these games, I do not want them to go too crazy with experimentation at all. But I will say, if you're going to do a spin-off, you really got to nail the story, in my opinion. Like, you got to nail the world and the story and how they intersect together. Because, for me...
I also thought the character design was better in Sword and Shield, too.
There were some Scarlet and Violet designs that were okay. Like, especially that girl.
The customization was way worse. They, limited
rival lady.
Yeah, no, there's people who are cool. But they limited you. Part of the reason Sword and Shield is so cool is because you can wear whatever you can be totally unique.
And,
how you look.
That I will say.
Like you had to look like a schoolboy.
That's stupid.
The newer ones.
Meanwhile, back in the day, you had the coolest looking forced appearances of all time.
Yeah.
Like, you had freaking Red, who had, like, that awesome cap.
Yeah.
You had Brendan, who had that really cool anime hair.
Yeah.
But you're telling me you look like a Dutch boy. Like, you have, like a weird looking, shorts.
I just don't know why they would lessen customization.
Yeah, don't lessen customization, especially if it's a traditional Pokemon game.
For you to go from, incredible...
Like, the highest of heights.
Like, an incredible, so much customization to, kind of meh.
I heard X and Y. I remember watching that, dude. That thing was, insane when it comes to customization.
X and Y.
And people complained about the Ruby and Sapphire remakes not having it. I was like, dude, I don't give a rip, dude. I just want to play as Brendan.
That game I'm okay with not having it. I don't think you need to add it.
I just want to play as Brendan.
I don't think you need to add it. Just, you don't need to add me looking unique.
No, it's Ruby and Sapphire.
I'm okay with you doing that in games that already have it.
Yes.
That are new. I don't really care if in the old versions you let me do that much.
I don't understand the attachment to it. It's like, it's the same engine. They should do the same
Ruby
thing.
And Alpha Sapphire are so good.
Especially the visual style, dude. I mean, X and Y's visual style still looks good today.
It's one of the main reasons I didn't get rid of my 3DS.
Yeah,
2 3DSs.
Like I said, I'm not going to bring up the E word just because of Nintendo. And I know their crazy old bots are going to come in and be like, eh.
I'm just saying, I hope it's just crazy because, like we've said before, I grew up with Pokemon, and it's actually more popular than ever.
Oh, dude,
people keep talking about oh yeah, the Pokemon craze. It's I'm
pretty sure it has
revamped
$1.8 billion in all, dude.
Yeah, but
it's
just funny because it's always been going strong, and I think it just I feel like the craze is back in action, if not more than it was.
It's the most popular brand ever. It is. Seriously, of all time, it is hands down. Nothing else. I've looked it up. Nothing beats it. It beat Star Wars, which nowadays makes sense because.
But still.
But that's an accomplishment, especially with how good those LucasArts games were. People rave about those to this day.
I guess it's just cool because our nephews and niece are growing up with it too. Where it's they're getting stuffed animals of it, and they get the
Pokemania
cards.
will never die. It never dies.
So it's just cool being excited with that with them. Where it's
they're more into it than I was as a kid. I was
Yeah.
into the games, but in a bit of the show, the movies, I was still way more into. But the manga, like I said, that's probably the best.
I haven't
story I've
skipped
ever
a single game. I've beaten every single one, except for some of the spin-offs.
It depends on what spin-offs
close to
you're
beating
playing.
Coliseum. I didn't finish it,
But
though.
dude, that's I
liked it,
That's
though.
a commitment.
And I was close to beating XD too.
XD, I also was close to beating.
I didn't finish it,
Coliseum,
though.
I got pretty far.
Then you get Pokemon Stadium, and it's your mind's blown.
Especially because that was
I can
before.
use my Pokemon at 3D.
That was
from
before
my game
Coliseum
onto,
and XD.
I know, but it's still
which is nuts. That's what I'm saying. It's nuts.
And there was so much content in that game.
You could pick whatever team
And I
you
could
wanted.
play my Game Boy on the big screen, through my.
No, that's the coolest thing ever, and that's what people see. I will say nothing has matched, even from just looking at that. I always lump Stadium with the games I always talk about, like XD and Coliseum, because they have so many animations and they share models, believe it or not.
Mm.
And they're just like, they have a new coat of paint. That's why they look so good on the GameCube. But they're the same models and same animations for XD and Stadium. Stadium has XD has and Coliseum have the same animations as.
I think XD
Stadium.
and Coliseum are really good. I'm just saying, like,
Stadium
I pretty
was
much completed like
way
every single
mainline game. Which
game.
for me, I completed like Gen 4 was like when after Gen 4 I stopped.
What's the last one you tried?
I tried I was all the way up to X and Y.
So you did like play them and just didn't finish.
Yes, I was just like, okay. So where's the evil team? Like, where's the big, where's this big thing where it's like, oh, the world's gonna end? Like, for me, a lot of the hook was the world-ending thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I didn't see it, I was like, okay, where is it?
I can't remember the Team and X's Y's goal.
It might have been like Team Flare or something.
It was Team Flare. I just can't remember what their motto was.
And then after that, you get
what their vision
Team
was.
Frickin' Skull. A bunch of rappers.
I actually didn't mind Team Skull.
It's funny, but
At
it's
all.
like they're going they're moving
dude,
around. Like if you could see the
loved
camera,
it.
they're like jiving
That
around
game
and
was
juking.
solid. But like I said, man, after they got off handheld. I mean, I know the Switch is technically handheld.
Yeah, it is, but it's like hybrid.
It's just been different since the Switch.
I think Nintendo bit off.
But
more than
they
could chew.
did, and also, like I said, there was parts about Scarlet and Violet that the story was incredible. Like, story on Scarlet and Violet is so good.
Way better.
The battles were so good, and some of them were tough. Like, there's so much content in defeating the bases.
To this
and
day,
then
I still debate
going
on
through the
at least playing
gyms.
that game.
I think it's worth it. It's just that, like I said, the cities just don't stick out as much, and that's disappointing to me because reaching the new cities was like really cool.
Freaking little Root Town had 4 buildings, and it was the coolest thing ever. I loved going back there. That music just
fire.
was incredible. Diamond and Pearls had 6 houses. Gen 1's Pallet Town, not big. Pretty big actually.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing Scarlet and Violet too much.
Me
there's
either.
aspects that were weak, but content wise, I gotta say, Sword and Shield's world, like I said, and character design, I think was better.
Well, yeah, because it matches the
just
concept
the
art.
story was a little bit lackluster,
and also Hop is the worst rival you could ever get.
He's okay. I don't really get the whole having British.
Oh yeah, oi mate,
which is cool.
I know
there
why
was also
they're...
cool characters too, like the girl.
Oh yeah,
really
that
cool
that girl, the
she's
emo
great.
girl, yeah, the waifu.
Yeah,
gotta pop that one up too.
Leon was cool. I thought Leon was really cool.
Yeah, I will say the purple
he's
hair
no Lance,
was
but he's cool.
Yeah, Lance looks way cooler because he's got that spiky.
Leon was more sporty.
He's more Leon's more you'd see this guy's showing off. That's all he's doing.
And Gigantamax was cool. Just because they had special different designs too. They weren't just big.
Well, Leon and that girl, I've noticed, are the only characters that don't make me want to shoot my head off.
I hear we're going back to Mega Evolutions too for this new X and Y game.
Oh my gosh,
which is by far the coolest we've had.
Dude, Gigantamax was such a sad.
Gigantamax was cool. I don't think it was a step down.
Aesthetically, it was dude, just make it megas. What is the difference? And then having here
crystallization. That was awesome.
Every
that was hilarious.
Freaking time.
That was hilarious.
Can I turn it off? I don't want to hear.
I did like the stadium, how they made it stadium. Feel like you're in a stadium.
That was cool. They stole that
a
from
lot more
Coliseum,
high stakes,
which is cool. And stadium.
But
yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand how even watching I don't care about animation. I don't care if it's amazingly animated. You don't have to be amazing, but I will say, even seeing these people's videos, I'm Game Freak. You've had how many years? Actually, Nintendo, you've had how many years?
Mm-hmm.
How many years with this system? And the best looking game you have on it is Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
like the best looking, best animated. And I'm not all looks,
Which
man.
we still have to finish.
Yes, but like, how do you get that right?
Dude, one of these weeks we just need to be like,
Just like hunker.
or even like one of these weekends, just be like, and even start from scratch and be like, let's go through.
Yeah,
it again.
because I would not want to start where we started.
Because I just don't. I want the whole experience.
Yes, so I can come on here and be like, "Where's my dark atmosphere? Where's my dark edgy atmosphere?"
But we gotta crush through that for sure.
But that's, I think, what bugged me the most about the games is like, dude, you've had this much time.
It's hard for me to be too much of a hater just because I love Pokemon.
Well, I'm
so
counting the
much.
Switch as a whole, dude.
And it's perfect because for the games, it's like I'll play the game. I'll play online a little bit, but like I play the game. I'll usually like bring my team from when I was a kid up, and then I'll play online with that team just for fun, like just because it's fun. And then, but mostly I just play the crap out of the game. I beat it. I don't touch it anymore. I don't care about
It's not
catching
like this
all of
deep
them.
game.
I've caught all of them before, and that aspect's cool. But like,
What game have you done it on?
I did it on the originals.
Oh yeah, red, blue, green.
I did it on yellow. I did it on Ruby Sapphire.
Oh yeah, dude. Those games. Like I said, both those games.
I did it on Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
All those games. This is the thing. When you go down the beaten path,
But I have to like the Pokemon. If it's like a bunch of
That's
new
true.
ones, like I'll go out and catch the original decks all day. I love going collecting those.
The only time
in the newer
I-
games, but I don't care. Like catching every single new Pokemon, like
last time I did
don't
it was
care that
Gen
much.
4, but that's because you're forced to do it for the most part. And I was kind of annoyed by that. I was like, okay, dude, where's my original? Where's my Hoenn? Like, where are those guys? Where's my Johto?
my favorite is when you like see you fight a trainer and they have a Pokemon that you're like, whoa, that thing is cool. Like, where can I get that? Kind of thing. Like, but there's just so many cool
For me, it
ones
was
in Gen 1.
Tropius.
Like, there's so many cool. Because I like that there's cute. I like there's a balance.
Yes.
But there's so many cool ones in
Dude,
Gen 1.
frickin' Charmeleon. He's a second evolution, and he's like
Charizard.
almost as cool as
Blastoise is
Charizard.
BA. Like,
Blastoise too.
Squirtle's sick. Like, he's cute, but
Oh, agreed.
and then Wartortle's like cool.
Like
A little bit lackluster design wise.
Wartortle is pretty weird. I don't get the I like
ears.
the colors. I just don't like the ears. If you cut the ears off and added like something else.
Alakazam, so dope. The whole line, his line's dope.
Dude, Alakazam?
Ghastly Haunter Gengar, legendary, dude. I want to get. I'm thinking about like my next tattoo. I can't decide because I want to do.
Alakazam or like Gengar.
I want to do a Gengar tattoo. But it's like tough because then I also want to do a that I've been planning for a long time. Gravity Falls tattoo.
Dude, go for the Gengar. Seriously.
Yeah.
Gengar, like Gengar is the hands down the coolest ghost
He's been my
Pokemon
favorite Pokemon
ever
for, like,
created.
forever.
They have not topped him.
But seriously, yes.
Even
Yeah, they have a
Darkrai looks like a chump compared to him, man. How is
That's a good
Gengar
point. What
not a
ghost-
legendary Pokemon?
What ghost Pokemon has there been that's been cooler than Gengar? I don't think any.
No, because that look in his eye, he's so twisted.
I did like Chandelure a lot.
That guy looked cool, I'll say.
So I still think Gengar's cooler. But
Honestly,
I did like him.
Yen Mask, after seeing that Pokemon episode where, the mask takes people over,
Yeah.
looks lame, but then you see him in action and it's like, oh, that's kind of a cool concept. But unfortunately, it's like, Gengar.
I'm just saying, there's so many Gen 1s that are just freaking
Oh, dude.
sick. They really went all out on like
Gyarados. Gyarados is Gen 1.
Gyarados. Raichu is dope.
Oh, dude, Raichu is like the most emo.
Even
like
Lapras.
edge.
Lapras is cool. Like
Evolutions.
all the evolutions, the original are
Every
sick.
single is
But even
good.
they did a good job making the other ones good.
Jolteon has
Because your favorite's Umbreon, isn't it?
yes, but Jolteon, honestly, I used to like
Jolteon.
Jolteon. I used to be like, and I do love Vaporeon, but
Me too.
Jolteon.
Vaporeon's
is
like cute.
So
Vaporeon's more like cute though.
cool. Like Jolteon has that like smirk on his face. That just,
Jolteon seems like the tough
especially
one.
the sprite art, dude. The games, like as they went on, they made him cockier and cockier looking.
Starmie, I love Starmie.
Dude, Starmie is actually cool. Starmie made like Staryu was like, oh,
Staryu's cool.
Starmie's
but Starmie's like awesome. The purple,
even the voice they gave him in the freaking show, was
and then all the legendary
cool.
birds. Like
Oh my gosh,
Moltres,
dude.
Zapdos,
Oh.
Articuno, like those, they just went so. But they did incredible with Gold and Silver
Especially
too.
Articuno, dude. Articuno is
Yeah.
like
I'm actually running in the Pokemon TCG that I've been playing. I'm running a Articuno Starmie deck.
he's like the coolest.
So good.
Like he is so cool. Every evolution, I think Gen 1
They popped off.
might be the peak. I'm with you. Like
It's more than just. I know
Like-
there's nostalgia, but it's like
minus starters, I do love Gen 3, but starters are like the king
Arbok?
of that.
Arbok's sick.
Oh yeah,
I
dude.
love Coughing and Wheezing.
Coughing
I
and
love
Wheezing
them.
look awesome.
Like
They actually look cool somehow.
even Voltorb. Like I know it's like
I
just
like
kind of looks like a
freaking
Pokeball. But
Oh,
it's like,
Farfetch is Gen 2. Farfetch
No,
is Gen.
that's
Or
Gen
is it
1.
Gen 1? Oh.
Farfetch
I always
is sick.
mistake it. Farfetch looks
Yeah,
awesome.
I love
I like
Farfetch'd.
him. Fearow looks freaking
Fearow,
cool.
dude. Fearow.
I'll just add my crappy
Their bird
impressions.
Pokemon killed in that first one.
I should add my crappy impressions just in post
Yeah.
that I did as a child. Just to annoy
link your
people.
old
Oh, dude.
Muck Grimer. They're awesome.
Those are awesome too. People are like, dude, the trash bag. You know, why do you not like Trubbish as much as the? I'm like, I
Dude,
like
Muck they
Grimer,
made like
dude.
creepy.
He's cool. Drowsy.
episodes
That
that
thing's
he's in?
terrifying.
Drowsy.
He kidnaps
Hypno.
children.
I mean, I could go on.
The
all
stuff they
day.
got away with, man, back then. The stuff they got away with those Pokemon is insane. Kidnapping children. Hypno, dude.
Mr. Mime. Love Mr. Mime. He's
I mean,
goofy,
Hypno.
but
That's
I
what I
loved
meant.
him.
Hypno, yeah.
Clefairy, Clefable, I love.
Mr. Mime,
Onyx.
amazing.
How could you? Onyx is so sick.
Steelix, dude.
Steelix is sick too. They actually added on to him and made him awesome.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Dude,
I did.
The
Just as much
I
as
will say Gen 2 is also they killed it with the birds Lugia.
I mean, I already did last episode to the My Hero waifu, so
Did you do?
I was like, whew.
Did you like Ho-Oh or Lugia better?
Probably Lugia, but Ho is close.
I don't think I've ever asked someone who said Ho-Oh.
Because Ho is like
Which is weird because you
turkey
see
thing?
Ho-Oh in like Gen 1.
he's like a turtle.
You see him in the show.
Yeah, you do. They used to do that. They would tease Pokemon all the time.
That's so sick.
See, that was what was cool back then. They did it for
And then
like,
we're all just wondering, like, what was that?
for 3 generations. They did it, and then they stopped teasing.
But,
They're
dude,
like, nope.
yeah, they killed it in Gen 2 as well. Lugia is so sick. Like,
That thing's awesome.
it's basically, I feel like they just, with Latios and Latias, who I love, they kind of copied Lugia's
Oh
design.
yeah, dude, with Gen 3 and their Gen 3 Pokemon too.
Gen 3, stellar.
Stellar
Starters,
stellar.
amazing. Every
oh
starter.
my gosh, dude! Every single one of them.
Everyone
somehow
sick.
Trico's cool. I don't
Yeah,
know
they made
how
the
they
grass
did it.
cool. Like, they made...
I will say I do think Grovyle is cooler than Sceptile. I'm not gonna lie, because like
me
Sceptile's
too.
tail is huge, dude. Like they needed to
But they killed it with the starters on that one.
the legendaries Groudon and
I was going to say
Kyogre.
that, dude. Groudon is so
Crouton?
cool.
No.
Yeah, Crouton. I don't know. I know we're just like glazing all the old.
I mean, well,
Series, but
I
it's like-
like Cast Form. People hate that thing.
I think Castform's
I
sick.
thought he looked cool.
Castform's sick.
Like, oh, it's just balls.
What other legendaries
floating.
did they have? They had more really good ones in Ruby Sapphire.
Yeah, dude, the
Legendary
Reggie,
dogs.
the Reggies.
Reggies are dope. But even in 2, they had
Oh,
Entei.
dude, Entei, Raikou, and Suicune.
Dude, and those were hard to catch.
Raikou. Oh my gosh, dude! Especially after that Legend
My
of
favorite was
Thunder,
Entei, but
Thunder special.
yeah.
Oh my!
I mean, dude.
gosh.
And then
like that made me a Raikou
Rayquaza, like
fanboy
you said.
forever.
Rayquaza was like sketchy.
Oh yeah, dude, he'd kill people. He's in space. He's just this creepy space
Dude,
dragon.
Mewtwo,
and he
even.
comes down from like a
Mewtwo.
light in the sky.
Like the OG Mewtwo battle, where you like if you don't save your Master
the
Ball,
cave, dude.
was because I used to always try to fight him without using my Master
I loved
Ball.
it, man.
Was so fun. Like,
oh, agreed, man. He was the, and then you go to Mount Fuji.
you go to like Seafoam. Is it Seafoam Cave?
Like, yeah, you do go to Seafoam Cave. Yes,
That's where Mewtwo
it is.
at
Seafoam,
the end, right?
But if you go to, you go to that mansion place where they describe his origin, you find all those like documents and all those like sketchy, people died, clone. He was a clone. This Pokemon is cloned after the original Pokemon. There's a lot of lore and a lot of depth to Mewtwo, even without the manga or the anime.
Yeah,
There's a ton with him. Like he.
The gym leaders were cooler too.
Oh, dude, hands down.
The gym leaders weren't too bad in Sword and Shield.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to see them.
They weren't that great in
Scarlet and
Violet. There was a couple that I thought were cool,
and then Sun and Moon scrapped that completely and went.
I mean, you
kahunas.
get such strong characters in the early.
Oh yeah, dude.
Not that some of the characters are still
Lieutenant
strong.
Surge. He's like, a war happened in Pokemon.
Surge, it's people like Cynthia, like the side characters.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like they're just strong.
Hands down.
Steve,
dude. Steven,
so cool.
Dude. Oh, and Cynthia. No, dude. Cynthia, Gen 4.
Cynthia,
Great character.
So cool.
Great character.
Yeah, I do feel like the more open world they've got, the less they focused on. I will say Scarlet and Violet's story is awesome.
Sounds like something a certain Zelda franchise that forgot completely about, but Zelda took it too far. That's the thing. The deep lore is what makes it cool, and Pokemon didn't fully forget it, which is nice.
I mean, they really...
Which makes me sad. Talking about Zelda will always make me depressed. I'll always be depressed.
Yeah, they really, like... I don't know. The designs were on point. And honestly, there's a lot of cool new designs, too. Like, I'm not trying to take that away. There's a lot of cool Scarlet and Violet Pokemon that are sick.
Oh, yeah, dude. Hands down.
The Pokemon you ride on's cool.
Surfing.
Yeah.
I will say the TMs... So how do you feel about TMs and HMs versus the riding thing? Which is superior? I'm just curious. I have not
so
put my stake
back in the day,
this
it was so annoying because you just have to have an HM
Yes.
slave. So like a part of your party is just some trash mon that you.
Oh yeah, well
Like-
you know what I would do?
So that was annoying.
I would just do what they did with the games and just not have like HMs. Like even though Surf was actually pretty good, a good move in actual combat.
I will say one thing I miss is that back in the day, it took longer to level up.
Oh yeah, dude.
When now these days it's kind of like Kid Glove,
Like
level
dude,
up.
even with EXP share back in the day, it was
Yeah.
tough because it would split the EXP.
Yeah. So it's like back then when your Pokemon would evolve, you'd be like, I worked so hard.
I worked
for
so
that."
freaking hard to get to level 100 with my little fat penguin boy
Yeah.
in his armor,
Yeah, Empoleon.
my bird boy, and my Swampert,
Another sick.
and my
Swampert
Swampert
is
brother.
also sick.
Woo! I remember, dude. He was like
I
he
always
was better than
picked-
Empoleon.
I went through with all three of them, but Torchic was the one I picked. I did fire starters pretty much every time,
I also do all three depending on the game.
but
I never did for Diamond and Pearl though, because for me, Chimchar.
my first starter was Pikachu because I got yellow first,
poor young,
which was fine,
poor young boy.
but it got annoying later because I wasn't as into Pikachu then.
Poor young boy.
But when I could pick what was next, Gold and Silver, I picked my favorite. My first pick was
Like I said,
was
we're here early so we can go longer. I feel.
Yeah.
Why cut off a great
My
conversation?
first starter that I could pick was Chikorita
Yeah, which is interesting. That's interesting.
because I like how he looked.
think about.
He was terrible though.
He was
in the
terrible.
game.
Chikorita is interesting.
I love his design. Not a good Pokemon.
Then he finally becomes
Bayleaf,
Meganium terrible.
And then, but
I say
when I would
Magnium,
pick,
but-
I love Totodile too. All great starters. But then I just would pick Cyndaquil every time. And once I started picking, once I realized I literally picked Chikorita, went through the game a little bit, and then restarted because I was like, this guy sucks.
Yep, and then our brother
then I
convinced our
picked Cyndaquil.
sister to pick a freaking...
Funny story.
Yeah, pick a...
Well, he picked a fire type.
Yep, well, he picked a fire type.
Cyndaquil.
Meanwhile,
So
I was over there always picking water. Just because, dude, the water boys...
Totodile's so good.
Feraligator's cool, but then when I got that Empoleon in, he was basically unused.
And then I picked... So then I did Cyndaquil, and once I did Cyndaquil, then I just started picking fire every time. So I picked Chikorita for my first.
I will ask you a question. What is Cyndaquil supposed to be? Like a ferret thing?
Like in the end of his evolvements?
Like what is his...
He's like a...
Yeah. What is
He's kind of like a porcupine, like anteater, like in the first...
What the heck is he?
At the beginning.
When he's
then he goes when he's Typhlosion, he is like a... I think he's like a...
ferret
like
thing?
a ferret thing or like something like that, yeah.
Like the coolest looking ferret thing ever.
True, yeah.
Now, I will say, I think, for me, the weakest fire design, and this is going to be controversial, I don't care for
just design, you mean?
Infernape
Like how they look?
design-wise. Like,
I really thought he was
because
cool.
the monkey thing is just like...
I thought he was cool. They could have made him cooler because he kind of just got like armor, basically, as he went forward.
When I look at
he was so OP.
When I look at
we're just talking about looks, then.
And Blaziken and like
that's true.
Charizard, they're such heavy hitters.
Blaziken looks really cool, but I wasn't even that much of a fan of. I'm never like the biggest fan of humanoid looking
Dude,
ones.
However, I used to think the same way that you did, but just thinking about that guy looks like he's a Digimon. It's the coolest thing ever.
He is cool. He does look like a Digimon.
Now,
he reminds me of Renamon.
I think. Oh, dude. Yep. Throw up the waifu picture because in the dang anime,
curvy, furry, furry.
Oh yeah, dude. Honestly, with that voice, like it literally sounded like I was listening to a. Not appropriate. It was not appropriate. It was not appropriate. It was the most flirtatious, unintentionally flirtatious voice you could ever hear.
Very strong female.
Very
voice.
sultry, very feminine. Like this woman could have been Catwoman. It was that. Actually, it was more sultry than Catwoman, if you can believe it. Man, the waifu discussions are still.
Who's the fire? So you said that Blaziken.
Charizard's my favorite fire starter, hands down.
Man,
it has to be Charizard. If you don't pick Charizard...
I honestly felt like Tepig was pretty bad.
Oh, Pig Knight. Oh, dude.
I used him. And I think his earlier versions I liked more than his... Because his first version's like cute.
Yeah, it's kind of dopey.
And his second one's like kind of dumb. And then the third one's real dumb.
That thing's stupid. He's just a dumb brute.
I think my favorite of those was...
Snivy has to be, dude.
Yeah.
Oshawott... His last Samurott is the
okay.
worst. Samurott is the worst final evolution for the waters.
For water?
He's so bad, dude. Samurott, like he's a stupid dragon thing, like water dragon.
I think my favorite water is Blastoise out of the starters.
For me, it's Swampert, bro. Swampert is just
over Blastoise.
Dude.
I love Swampert.
Something about him. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the way he looks.
He's probably my second.
Those orange-looking eyes, just
probably
like he looks like intense. You know, that was still back when they actually made Pokemon look serious. And then Empoleon's cool, but I mean, he's a penguin. I think penguins are cool.
Oh, Empoleon's probably actually my favorite.
I do like
second
him
favorite.
a lot, but for me, Swampert is like this giant water monster thing that, like, if I saw that thing in real life, I would be terrified.
I will say
if I saw a giant penguin in real life, I'd be like, oh, that's just a penguin.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, Skipper.
He is sketchy looking, though.
Yeah.
He's more than just a giant penguin.
He is cool because he's like a king. He's like an emperor penguin, so he's like... And they did the whole
Venusaur
Napoleon.
Venusaur is really cool. Don't get me wrong.
I don't
think he's my favorite.
He is not my favorite grass. Favorite grass for me is frickin' Grovyle, the second evolution. He looks so cool. He's got that little thing in his mouth, you know? That little...
He's awesome.
Like, it's like he's got that little piece of grass in his mouth that he always takes out. He sits there with his arms crossed, like next to a tree.
They had
in the show.
I can't remember which one with the owl. the grass owl.
I know who you're talking about. I just
he was pretty
know
cool.
his name.
But I can't remember the. Oh, no, it was the cat.
That cat. I like the cat thing. That grass cat thing.
That's a new Sprigatito.
Sprigatito. The stupidest.
That was from Scarlet. That was Scarlet and Violet, I think.
Yeah, I've seen the starters.
And then it's Quaxley, and then.
Okay.
So here's my thought. Fuecoco is adorable and derpy, and then he gets like so his designs afterwards. I hate it.
You know what my least? Actually, this is my least favorite.
But
grass
Sprigatito
design.
got awesome as he evolved.
It's a tie between Torterra
For the worst?
and like that stupid monkey with the drums, that like
that
giant
was a
ape
starter.
thing. It's like the dumbest looking. What like is this Donkey Kong?
Who else was the starters with that?
Well, like
one, though?
Donkey Dong, if you ask me.
Who were the starties on
I don't even remember.
the rest of that?
I
That
don't
was
even
Sword
remember.
and Shield.
Yeah, DK not gonna be bananas, boy. He's bad.
What were the other two?
I'm gonna throw that clip in for sure.
The fire.
But the fire.
Who was the fire?
Dude, I don't remember.
The bunny.
Yeah, dude.
Score
Score
Bunny.
Bunny was cool.
I
looking.
love Score Bunny. So I
But-
picked Score Bunny.
Yeah,
'cause he's
Score
sick.
Bunny. And I'll even take my phone out just so we can look these up if
I'm
we
trying to
need
remember the water type for that one.
All right, let me. So, this is like Sword and Shield. Yeah, Sword and Shield. There, thankfully, that popped up immediately. So,
remember the water starter.
so it's Sobble.
Let me see.
This weird looking thing.
Oh, kind of cute.
I mean, it's
What
like
does its final evolution look like?
it's very tame. It's I got it right here. Okay, this is possibly the dumbest looking.
Oh, it gets the
water-
clown thing,
What
right?
the frick is that water?
I hate
thing?
that, yeah.
That looks terrible. He looked. Forget what I
I
said.
think Score Bunny is clearly the best out of.
Oh,
all
dude,
that.
hands down, the weird monkey thing with the drums. If he didn't have the drums, I wouldn't be offended as much because it's like, what do those add? He just looks like a goofy, like, you know what I would have done? I would have made him look like Donkey Kong as like a reference to, like, I would have made him look
liked.
more like Donkey Kong.
I like it when the next evolution just looks like it looks pretty similar to the original.
Like a
Not
lot,
like super,
but
but
like a tougher version. You're saying
that's why I like Mudkips because he looks.
Oh, dude,
So he
yeah.
just looks like a big old little Mudkip. He looks like a beefy.
he looks like
Mudkip.
a giant like monster. That
Yeah.
thing's gonna strangle you in the night, dude. He's like he's like huge. He's jacked. Now I gotta think what other starters. Frickin' like I said, dude, I just cannot stick up for Infernape because
Infernape.
he's just a monkey. I don't care for monkey Pokemon. Like I did like Apom, like just because
Apom's
he's
awesome.
funny looking and he's got that like sly,
Apom.
shifty look in his face.
Yeah, Apom's awesome.
And like in the episodes, like in the show, he gets barely any presents at all. He gets caught once, and then he's shipped off to Dawn. But no, dude, he was like he had that look in his eye that just he looked like he was gonna do some very mischievous things.
Yeah, what a show, dude! What a show. Yeah, the earlier designs, I'm definitely more fond of in general. Skarmory was really.
What's
cool.
your least favorite Pokemon design, like of all time? Just so bad, you cannot stand it. I can't stand Trubbish. I go back and forth between Trubbish and Vanillite.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Because for me, it's like, okay, so you're telling me you have these like unique and cool designs, and then also Klefki. Klefki, like,
I love Cliff.
for me, it's just like, there's just not, like, you could make the keys look like, I will say Klefki is less offensive because I probably wouldn't put him there, because I think about him and I'm like, those eyes are fine. But those two that I listed are
There's
so
some
bad.
like
They're
really
so bad I
ones
can't stand
that
it.
I think are worse than even those.
I mean, yeah, there's from the early stuff.
there's one that I
think
can't remember
of
what he's
any.
called, but he has like orange arms and legs, and he's like an iceberg.
So actually, I know what my worst one is too. That stupid gold-looking thing. You know, that one that's supposed to be based off of like change.
Oh,
It looks
I
like
was
a
gonna say
tree
that.
that's like golden. It's just it's stupid looking. It's like the 1,000th Pokemon. I'd have to show you.
I was gonna say the
but
same. Is it new?
It's new.
Like really pretty new.
It's pretty new. He's
It's like
terrible.
a treasure goblin thing?
Yes, it's terrible
Yeah.
looking. It's like
That was what my pick was gonna be originally.
It is
too.
so bad. It is so bad I can't stand it. I'm like, who? Game Freak, what were you thinking? Like, usually you come up with amazing designs. Like, who? A freaking Snorlax? He's a fat cat. I even like dang Perugly, and that thing's just a fat,
Dude,
ugly
Snorlax
cat.
is sick.
Just a fat, ugly cat. Now, Skuntank, I'll say, is pretty funny looking. But no, Trebuchet, dude. Garvador, dude. That's even worse. His evolution. Oh,
yeah.
It's just trash leaking out of a. Like, wow, that's great.
I don't mind that.
You
That
thought,
him
dude, a
so
trash
much.
bag. I know Japanese people are like, it's so cute.
It's
It's
not my
cute.
favorite.
Why
It's
did
definitely not.
I had
nowhere
to throw
near
the
my
accent
favorite.
in there, but he, like, seriously, a Japanese person's like, oh, that's so cute. Let's make the trash
I mean, you only
bag.
get so many ideas, you know. It gets harder and harder, I'm sure.
The sword is interesting, like Aegislash
Aegislash, dude.
or Aegislash.
Dude,
Yeah,
Aegislash is
like he's not bad.
Aegislash is sick.
He's actually pretty cool looking. See, like I will say I am more critical of the inanimate objects because I'm like I miss animals.
And X and Y, I think had Greninja.
Oh yeah, dude, Greninja. A lot of people.
Incineroar.
Okay, another controversial opinion. Greninja looks awesome, but why the tongue?
I love the tongue.
The tongue around his neck
I
looks like
love
he's
it, dude.
hanging himself.
I
A
love-
frog hanging himself.
I love the design of it.
I just feel like it's such a strange, like it's so weird. Like he looks so cool, but then his scarf is his tongue, like
I love
wrapped around
Greninja.
his neck.
I love Greninja, bro.
Who was the fire starter in that?
Incineroar. It's like a cat. It's like a fire cat.
I actually do like Incineroar because he's like this.
I can't remember the
jacked
grass. Was that
cat
the owl
thing.
one? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
No, X and Y might have been the owl. The grass owl.
Froakie as the first starter was extremely weak though. Like for first evolution for Greninja was really dumb. Froakie, like I could not stand Froakie's design. It's like a derpy. It's literally crossing its eyes in this picture. Like look at that.
Oh, I got it so wrong. It's not Incineroar. That's
It's the Fennec Fox.
yeah,
thing.
dude. I loved Fennec,
Yeah,
and
Fennekin.
my least was the grass for sure in that lineup.
The grass is pretty generic. I won't deny. It's very like I'll look at the final level. Oh my gosh, dude.
Competitively in that season, Greninja was the best by a long shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the final
Chestnut
evolutions.
or whatever.
Yeah, the fox. I will say, the second evolution I think looks a little bit better than the third one on that one because it's not so like weirdly like big.
Yeah.
Like, see, every generation is like, we gotta have it big. It's like, dude, it's a Fennec Fox. Do you really need him? Just make it look like Renamon at that point. Just make her talk in the anime. Just do the same.
Renamon's a sick design.
Well, that's because it's like Digimon can get away with humans. Angemon is a literal human. He's literally a human. Pokemon can't get away with that at all. Anytime it does humanoid things, it's like
I definitely think
there's problems.
Gen 1 had
What's the worst Gen 1 design?
the worst.
Now, I'm going to say this. I cannot find a single one. I love Voltorb. People say he's bad. I'm
Like,
like,
he's a
dude,
Pokemon. I'm like, yeah, but his eyes are
I
cool.
like Magnemite, dude. Magneton.
I love Magnemite.
those things. I will say Diglett's little.
I love Diglett.
He's cool, but
Kinda
he's
just like a peen, but
yeah, it's like he's not bad. I've never been like, oh my gosh, those designs are bad.
there's not one that I can think of that I
Gen 2 might be easier for me because
think
like
a bad one.
like Giraffe Rig is kind of like
It's okay. It's not
Eh.
bad though.
Giraffe Rig's okay.
You know who I don't like from Ruby Sapphire?
Love Disc.
No, Love Disc is.
I
yeah,
could not stand
is
Love Disc.
okay.
Stunfisk. Stunfisk is the
It's funny,
ugliest
though.
looking thing I've ever seen. Kill it with fire.
It's an electric Pokemon.
Oh, are you talking about Shanks?
No,
because I thought Shinx.
Okay.
His final evolution is really cool looking.
No, it isn't.
Oh no, Shinx is not in that game.
It's
He's
like
later.
Shinx though.
He's later.
But it has like
Electrike. You're talking.
Yeah. I do not like Electrike.
I think Shinx is cooler than Electrike. I won't deny that. It's a
Electrike might be one of my least favorite in the whole.
I used to
in that whole
love
gen.
Electrike, but for me, it's Stunfisk. He's derpy, but my goodness, dude, he's a flat fish.
Oh, you know who sucks?
Who?
Lotad's evolvents, the with the
Lombre.
sombrero duck, Lombre.
Oh no, Ludicolo, dude.
Ludicolo, so bad. Because I thought the evolutions before him were like not that bad, and then you get him, and I'm like, cool.
Lombre's pretty cool.
You became like a fat sombrero duck.
What about freaking Slack King?
I love Slack.
Like, he's awesome, but it's just funny he goes from, like, Vigoroth to this psycho, crazy, like, monster thing to, like...
Even like Mammal Swine, those guys are awesome.
They
killed him.
Bidoof is terrible in Gen 4.
Bidoof sucks.
Bidoof, design-wise,
I also
is
absolutely
generic.
despise Quagsire.
Oh, yeah, Quagsire, dude. People love that
like
thing.
Whooper or Whooping or whatever.
Whooper, dude.
Obviously, what's the one that Jaywitz hated?
The
Hoppip?
frickin' Hoppip.
I also hate
also looks
Hoppip.
terrible. Nice reference. I have been recently watching his old playthroughs. And apparently he is actually a good beatboxer, ironically. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's not bad.
He's, like, shockingly good at that.
But Gen 1, I can't think of any. Obviously, we get Gen 2, we got freaking Tyranitar, who's so sick.
Yeah, dude. Oh, my gosh, man. What about freaking Dusclops, dude?
Awesome. I used him in my Sword and Shield run.
He was, dude, Dusclops. That guy is amazing. Absol. Freaking Absol,
Absol's
dude.
so cool.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, like such
Anyone
good
who
designs.
looks like an angsty Pokemon, like I like.
Oh, same. I like Lucario.
I love Lucario.
Like, some people, like, he's polarizing. Some people love him.
His design is
Some
sick.
people despise him.
Then watch the movie and tell me you don't like him.
Oh yeah, dude. He's
Come
in
on.
fact, him and Mewtwo are the most complex Pokemon in that. Jirachi's just a baby boy who wants to get.
Yeah,
a
but
match.
Jirachi looks cool.
He is cool though.
Celebi looks cool.
Celebi's great. Well, Celebi, I'll say, looks a little bit better than Jirachi in my opinion because Jirachi, like,
kind of feel like they both were similar.
the eyeball in the middle of Jirachi was an interesting design choice. Like his weird hat.
Oh, you know who I don't
goes
like?
like-
Deoxys at all.
Yeah, Deoxys is also polarizing. They're like part of me. You know what it's like? It's like Porygon on steroids.
Yeah, I liked him in the movie because he's scary.
He was scary. I was voting that Rayquaza tear that thing apart, though. I was like, why is Rayquaza the villain? I want him to I want him to destroy these things.
But
I was annoyed by him not being winning.
I don't really like Darkrai's design either.
Darkrai, it's like I
love Dragonite though.
It makes me sad because Darkrai has that stupid thing going out of his head. Like, if he didn't have that weird horn thing.
Cubone used to be one of my favorite Pokemon for a long time.
I mean, Cubone's cool, dude. Especially his story.
Kangaskhan I always thought was cool.
Kangaskhan's cool, too. It's like
Those
giant...
are just Gen 1s.
I mean, we've kind of hit all the spectrums of, like... We barely...
Seriously, anyone lame in Gen 1?
Diamond and Pearl, I think, is where things start to get a little...
Me too.
Like, a little shaky. Like, Bidoof, like I said. Skuntank is, like, derpy, but kind of stupid. Yeah. Like...
Ralts was my... I love
Bronzer? That thing was, like... Bronzong? Like, it wasn't very good.
Dude, what about freaking...
It was
Metagross.
Oh my gosh.
So cool.
Gen 3, dude. That was like peak design for like
make a final evolution look sick.
Dude, even his arm thing looked like the hand thing
He's
looked like the second evolution looked like a freaking
Both
Mega
of them,
Man Legends
They made
character.
you feel like good in the sense of
they were menacing.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, as these guys get stronger, they're getting like stronger.
If I saw that thing, I'd be terrified.
Me too.
It's like even the hand thing. It's like a weird eye. Like Matang, that's what it's called. Matang. That thing's nuts. Scyther, dude. Caesar.
Scyther's
oh, dude.
Caesar's
Gen 2.
So cool.
Both of them are like awesome.
I even like Krabby
dude,
Kingler.
I like Corfish.
Corfish is cool.
Corfish, now I think Kingler is way cooler than Corfish, personally.
I love Psyduck. Was one of my favorites for a long time.
Psyduck, dude, he's
Golduck
hilarious.
looks even
Golduck,
cooler.
oh my gosh, dude. Psychic Pokemon, I don't know what they do with those guys, but they really hit it out of the park. Even freaking Hypno.
I love Hypno.
His
dude.
design is like derpy. It's like an elephant-looking thing.
I like
but-
Jinx.
Yeah, same, dude.
She's goofy, but I like her.
Yeah, same. I honestly agree with you. I think
They did good on the goofy ones.
they did good on the. Well, they weren't so goofy that you were like, "What is this?" It's not like freaking.
Because
Bidoof,
Mr. Mime's
dude.
goofy, but I really like Mr. Mime.
Bidoof is disgusting. He's an abomination to all Pokemon. He's an HM slave.
Bidoof sucks, and he always will
he's
be.
Disgusting.
He always will be an HM
He's
slave.
disgusting. No one likes
Only thing
him.
he's good for.
Skuntank makes a
I'm trying
fart
to think
noise.
of
as
Gen 1,
his-
I think who my HM slave was in
wasn't Dugong Gen 1 or 2?
Gen 1.
Yeah, Dugong I
'Cause
like.
it's Seal and then Dugong.
Well, Seal I like. I like Dugong. Dugong's like a
Me
weird
too.
looking. Like
Dugong's awesome.
Dugong's voices.
Dugong.
Dugong. Like, I gotta look this up because there's a lot of Gen 4 designs I'm not remembering, but there are
Dude,
some-
Dragonite.
Oh
So
my dude.
cool. Because he's like, in the show, he's huge and terrifying.
Oh yeah, he's huge. and
But like,
terrifying.
he's cute looking.
yeah, he's got a little bit of an innocence to him, but he looks intense too.
Yeah.
I mean, you see him with his little mail bag. I mean, that definitely helps
Yeah.
when he's going around on
Yeah.
his. Oh my gosh, dude! I forgot Mime Jr. was a design. I cannot stand Mime Jr.
I love Mime Jr.
What else do we got? Badoo. I mean, Badoo's kind of.
I didn't really understand the reason of making like baby versions of ones that already exist.
Yeah,
but-
especially Roselia. Roselia was cool on its
Roselia's
own.
awesome.
The evolution's a little weird. Roserade.
I love Roserade. I love that whole line.
Combi.
What's that one?
It's like a honeycomb. It's like a little.
Final Evolution's not bad.
Final Evolution's cool, but Combi. Oh my gosh, dude! Why would you?
Gen 3 had great birds too. Gen 3 had
Swellow, dude.
So good.
Oh my gosh, loved
and
it.
Wingle. I
Wingle.
freaking love.
I love
Wingle.
Pelipper.
Pelipper. I love Pelipper.
Remember the episode where they stuff
Yeah.
like a whole bunch of Pokeballs in his mouth?
I used Pelipper in my Ruby Sapphire.
Dude, Pelipper was sick.
Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire run. I had.
I mean, the
Pelipper.
guy was like a multi-typer. He could use a ton of different, like, he could use
Farfetch used to be one of my favorite
electric types.
Pokemon of all time too.
I am not a Staraptor guy from Gen 4, to be
I like
honest.
Staraptor.
I
He
don't
kind of
know.
was like
his
Taylor.
his
He's
head's
like similar.
I just don't like his hair.
He's like Elvis hair.
Yeah, I don't dig the hair thing. Like,
They do pretty well with. There's not many bad like bird Pokemon. I don't think.
no, I don't think so. I think frickin' Pidgeotto was so cool, dude.
So cool.
Look at this thing,
Pidgeotto,
Shield.
Fearow, even Dodrio. Yeah, Shieldon's struggling.
See, like Gen 4, I feel is
Dodrio is
where,
awesome.
he was awesome. I like Fearow, dude.
Fearow's so cool.
Leafeon, I do not like.
Dude,
Leafeon.
I caught the second I saw what Fearow looked like as a kid, I caught a Spearow immediately.
Oh, dude,
I was
he's,
like,
he's amazing. What
I
the
love Beedrill.
Look at this.
Beedrill.
thing. This
Yeah.
Wormadam. Like, you can't deny that's where. I just wanted to prove a point.
Sorry, what is it?
Huh?
Like, sorry, sweetheart. I just don't give a worm a damn.
Wow, nice. Oh yeah, frankly, my dear.
Yeah,
I don't give a worm a
I
damn.
don't give a worm a damn. Yeah.
I don't. I don't give a worm a damn about your Skuntank or your Bidoof. Gen 4, get out of here. You're disgusting abominations. The only thing I like is your Pruglies because it's a disgusting fat. Seriously, a disgusting fat cat is more appealing than a disgusting skunk that farts.
Yeah, we're forgetting about a bunch, but
His
Routes.
Oh, dude.
I love Routes. I love
Routes,
Gardevoir.
Anyone who doesn't like Routes is crazy to me.
Just like a cute bowl cut, little psychic
Like,
guy.
like that thing's in the final evolution of that thing.
Gardevoir, yeah, I love Gardevoir.
I will say that thing, the amount of, like I said, the fan art gets awkward for that.
I bet.
Awkward. Sentret.
I like Sentret.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not like a top design where I'm like, dude, I need this thing. I like Teddy Ursa, honestly.
Teddy Ursa's awesome.
And the evolution, dude. That thing. Don't remember the name, but that thing is
Ursa Ring, I think.
Ursa Ring, dude. Thing looks.
Well, now it even has an evolution past that, and it looks awesome.
Like he looks.
It's kind of like a
phenomenal.
Skull Greymon. It's like
Elekid.
Elekid, dude. Electabuzz, Elekid,
Electabuzz, dude.
Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee,
Oh.
awesome.
I even liked freaking Machoke.
Me too. All those are awesome. Machamp, Machoke.
The fighting types. What happened? They made him so cool. Pancham. I even like freaking Pancham.
Panchamp's sick. His evolution's sick.
I would have called him Poe the second I got him, dude. that would have been the name instantly.
Shuckle.
Shuckle. That thing.
I like Shuckle.
Tangela, dude.
Tangela. I like Tangela.
Tangela's
I've always
cool.
loved, obviously, Oddish, Vileplume.
Oddish,
Gloom.
yeah, dude. Oddish. Gloom especially. That thing is hilarious. It's like a derpy little... See, I like derpiness, but it has to be like well designed. It can't just be, oh dude, here's a trash bag, or oh dude, here's an ice cream cone. Like, I get why people like Vanillite, but it's like, my problem is it's
nowhere near. I would say it's below average.
That's the problem, is it's just ice cream. Like like what happened? Spinnerack, dude. That freaking spider Pokemon.
Love Spinnerack.
Love Spinnerack, dude. That thing's bug types, dude. Freaking Butterfree.
What's that? They did an electric spider too, who was sick.
Yeah, I like my memory. The Surskit, I will say, is a little weak on in my opinion.
I love Goldeen.
I do like Goldeen.
The old water Pokemon are really good.
Water Pokemon,
in general, tend to be
are
cool.
pretty good. I will say, like I said, Surskit.
Sharpedo.
Surskit's okay. Sharpedo's awesome. He's a freaking shark. Who wouldn't want a shark as a Pokemon?
Super cool. One that I didn't like was the Poochyena.
Poochyena, yeah.
I dropped that Pokemon so
Mightyena I liked a lot, though, I'll say.
Better.
I like the wolf stuff. There's a cooler
I was more of a
one.
Houndoom.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think
Yeah.
Houndour's way cooler, dude. Houndoom, yeah, dude. That thing's way cooler than Poochyena. Like, that thing. I mean, Poochyena is like... I like wolves, but and his final evolution is decent. Like,
yeah, that's cool.
but he's not wolfish enough for me. Like, he's got this weird, like, stuck up hair. Like, just make him a wolf, dude.
Yeah.
He'd be the coolest thing ever if he was just a tough looking wolf, not a weird, spiky haired like anime.
I also wasn't
thing.
really that much of a fan of them making the like versions where they're like different colors in like Sun and Moon.
Oh, the Alolan versions,
Yeah.
dude. Alolan Meowth haunts people to this day.
What the?
Actually,
say?
Alolan Persian, dude. That thing is an abomination. It's like a bunch of bees stung a Persian on the head. Like, Persian used to be cool, especially seeing Giovanni. I gotta say that Giovanni with his Persian just like laying on his lap, looking sly as ever.
Gen 1.
Oh, every time I see him, dude.
What are the other ghosts in Gen 1?
Other than Gengar,
Yeah, like, is there other ones?
I gotta look this. I'm gonna even look up a list of ghost type Pokemon because that's.
I remember trying to catch a Abra for so long because they use teleport immediately, so you have to like put them asleep. So your Pokemon has to be faster, and you have to put them asleep and catch them.
Oh yeah, dude. So yeah, I think that might be the only one, my man.
I think you're right.
But then after that is Mischievous and Gen
Mischievous
3.
isn't bad.
Yeah, a little weird looking.
It's just hard when you're following
Especially Gengar, dude.
Gengar. Yeah.
Shit Ninja is apparently a ghost type. I do like frickin' Shuppet. Shuppet's kind of
I like
cool.
Shuppet's cool.
He's like a Rotom with a Reaper Cloth. The theories.
Rotom's cool.
Dusclops, dude. Cannot
Dusclops
get enough
is
of them.
sick. Duskull, I love.
Drifloon?
Drifloom's cool. Well, Drifloom's okay.
What is this thing? I forgot what that weird purple looking cloud with green eyes was. That thing looks terrible.
Oh, something Tomb.
Spiritomb. That thing looks awful. Like, I cannot stand.
Dude, Chandelure is so cool.
I cannot stand
This
that
one's
thing.
cool, too. The squid. Oh, and, dude.
That thing's awesome, the coffin-looking thing.
Dude, Aegislash, so good. Actually, this version of Marowak looks sick.
Dude, Alolan... You are right about Alolan variations, dude. Those are...
Oh, yeah, Frostlass is sick, too.
What is that?
This one's sick, too.
What the heck is that thing?
I love
yeah,
that
it's like
Pokemon.
I'll throw it on the screen.
Shuppet, I think... No, Shuppet doesn't evolve into that.
It's like a weird-looking...
I love Duskull.
Duskull, dude. I like both. If they are separate Pokemon, I wouldn't even care. Dude. Rotom is kind of weak for me.
This Pokemon's cool, too.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I will always have a bit of a dislike for Rotom.
Oh, this tree one was really cool, too. He was competitive as well.
Like, Rotom's a little...
I love Rotom.
I
love all versions
the whole
of Rotom.
Dex form for me was kind of like...
Oh, Sableye really cool,
Giratina's
too.
a ghost, apparently. Forgot that.
Giratina. Oh, yeah. Anyway, we definitely pushed past.
We
our
extended.
episode here.
I mean, there's one of them that's like 2 hours long.
I mean, I could
so-
keep going, but
No, I agree with you. Oh,
God bless, gentlemen.
God bless, gentlemen.
See you next week.
Yep, and then next week we'll talk about something other than Pokemon.
Yeah. We've been on Pokemon
promise to the other peoples we'll find something else to talk about.
Yeah.
Because this was just for the manga, and if you want to see more Pokemon stuff, go over to the videos. I'll even throw an annotation up here. The series that I'm starting. Because I am not going to tell anybody my opinions on this.
So the rest is, that's all you're going to get.
You're going to have to watch the videos. That's all you're getting from the podcast. So I'll even remind people in the video. I'm going to cover Chapter 2 on the video separately. So you only get Chapter 1 here. You only get in the later chapters there. So
Sounds good.
be there or be square.
Yeah.
You're not going to see it. I'm locking you away. Even you, sir.
Yeah.
I'm locking away.
Sounds
So,
good. All right. God bless.
God bless.
See you next week.
Blue's like Blue just leaves. Blue leaves him. Blue is way cooler. I'm with you there, dude. He is throws his little Poliwhirl out. He's shocked that Green. Curse you, America, for doing that to me. Thank you.
I think it was just about the versions, right? 'Cause
Yep.
we got red and blue.
It was.
They got
fire red. They got that fire and
I think
green.
green